just start off by telling me a little bit about you? I saw on your website that you were, I guess, a car guy.
Yes, I was.
And then you decided to go into this, which is health-related technology.
That's right. That's right. So cars was what actually, or a passion for cars is actually what brought me to the U.S. I came here for graduate school for a degree in automotive engineering, and it was actually my first company was very automotive oriented. So we used to build these simulations for car companies to predict fuel economy and performance. And but ultimately we sold that company, and then it's been an entrepreneurial adventure since then. And this is a health and gaming are kind of at the intersection of other passions of mine, but so I'm really moved by kind of what I see as a crisis in terms of nutrition related disease around the world, and particularly acute in America, and projected to be so much worse than it already is. So I feel like I want to be able to do something.
So now, is it worse here in the United States than in other countries?
I think there was an article in The Economist magazine in December that kind of put a world map of percentage of national populations that are obese, and America is definitely kind of got some of the most severe obesity related problems, but there's other countries where it's as if not maybe marginally worse. Countries in the UAE, the Middle East, happens to have a lot of a prevalence of obesity. Australia, Mexico. So there's other countries around the world that are kind of where a huge percentage of their population is already obese, and the projections are pretty astounding. But America has a big problem in itself. So looking at it as a global problem, it felt like something that I want to be able to do something about. And this was an opportunity by which we were able to address it and do so in a scalable way, because we found the World Health Organization says that a third of the world, or about 2.1 billion people, are either dangerously overweight or obese as of 2008. And that's projected to get a lot worse over the next 10 years, 20 years. And it feels like it's a problem of scale that needs to be addressed with some kind of scalable solution. And that was kind of the motivation behind trying to come up with an idea that could potentially address it.
Oh, okay. And I saw that you just did a big round of crowdfunding.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, congratulations on.
Thank you.
I saw that you made your mark of 50,000.
We did. I mean, it was kind of a modest goal as far as our business needs are concerned, but it was a goal that we kind of wanted to try and strive for, to get crowd support and to get awareness as a result of what we did, and it's been extremely powerful from that perspective.
Oh, okay. So you were looking at it more of an awareness point of view than a fundraising point of view.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting. I see where some companies go for crowdfunding and they're looking at it for revenue purposes.
Right. So it felt like our product. We chose Kickstarter as the crowdfunding platform, and so the Kickstarter community Kickstarter already has a following for certain types of projects or certain types of games, but we don't necessarily fall within the sweet spot of hardware projects that do really well on Kickstarter, or even certain types of hardcore games, titles that people usually pay for. But we're kind of in a different genre and a different kind of a breed altogether of gaming. So what Kickstarter really did for us was to kind of really focus on being able to take the message and even push our own boundaries in terms of creating activities that began to cause media attention around this topic and around our mission. And so a lot of that was a result of Kickstarter, or the things that we took upon ourselves because of Kickstarter or because of the campaign. So, our goals for Kickstarter were kind of twofold. And so while the funding objective was one thing that we took very seriously, and we pushed ourselves to try and meet that, and we got there. But the awareness that we get through the campaign and through the activities related to the campaign were far more, valuable in terms of our longer term objective.
Oh, okay. So how did you come up with the concept of Friends? Was that Friends Learn and also Fooya?
Yeah. So Friends Learn came about when I was a fellow at the Kaufman Foundation, and they had an initiative back in about 2011 to try and get people to focus on the crisis surrounding education. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about how we would even address the problem in education. But as far as health was concerned, it was a passion of mine, and we really came about the idea with a couple other people on my team that we were kind of brainstorming this and trying to figure out what would be the right mechanic and what would be the right way to kind of achieve our objective in combining health with education and with food, and try to create something entertaining around it. So the idea for Friends Learn came through the Kaufman Foundation, but the idea for Fooya came about kind of with a little bit of brainstorming. The original idea concept for Fooya, actually, we developed it as startup weekend with people on my team, and that's where we.
So now what's startup weekend?
Startup weekend is kind of like a hackathon, the equivalent of a hackathon, but they did it at the University of Michigan's campus back in 2011, and so we decided to build a game, and then we thought about this game with kind of my objectives for health and education, and then came up with the idea of a food fight.
Okay. Now, are you originally from Michigan then?
So I went to school there, moved there for graduate school after. I grew up in India, went to college in India, and then moved to Ann Arbor for graduate school, and that's what kind of brought me to the States.
Yeah, University of Michigan, I take it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So then, what brought you out here?
Well, the focus on gaming and the focus on all things related to a consumer-facing kind of a product with gaming at its center. But our mission really is to be able to create a movement around this problem, and have nutrition be kind of the focus of what we're trying to solve. But this felt like a really good place to be able to do that.
Oh, okay. So now, where can people find the game Fooya?
So at this point, we're on Facebook. So it's still in alpha. It's still kind of a product that's being iterated quickly based on feedback. And right now, you can play it on Facebook. We'll soon be on mobile as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was going to ask you whether you were thinking of going mobile.
Yeah.
So are you doing it on what platforms on mobile?
Both Android and iOS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of the focus of our development right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when is that going to be launched?
We're targeting to launch that sometime by the end of the summer. So we're kind of busy working away on early prototypes. But after a whole bunch of testing and making sure that everything is that's the thing with mobile. You have to get it perfect before you launch it. Unlike on Facebook, which has been a great platform for us to be able to iterate and test and use data and analytics to actually be able to refine the product after we put it out in the public domain.
Yeah, it's a lot different programming for something like Facebook and programming for a mobile app.
Yes, it is. Yes,
so once you come up with a mobile app, it actually has a version number to it.
That's right. Exactly right.
Where Facebook, you can easily change that at any time and fix something on the fly.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And the way the web app works on Facebook, it actually there is no question of an update. So the gamer basically every time they log in, they get the latest build, and they don't have to worry about having an update function or anything happen. So it works pretty well from that perspective as well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What's going to be like the potential revenue stream for for the game? Is this going to be the only game, or are you going to have more, or what kind of revenue stream are you?
Yeah.
That's always what people ask.
That's right.
Now, how are you going to go and keep this thing going?
That's right. So our ideas for revenue are basically surrounding virtual goods and in-app purchases that gamers will buy these items in the game to be able to enhance their experience and to be kind of get a bit of an advantage in a competitive advantage as they play against other players. But we also are getting interest from brands that want to place their products, whether it's healthy foods, that want to have a presence through Fooya to the audience. And we're also beginning to sell merchandise, so people can buy branded merchandise from us. And ultimately, we also think there is an opportunity for us to be able to sell, subscriptions or to companies for their employees, or have kind of catered versions of the game for a particular audience, whether it's school children or and then those kind of deals are to be kind of created based on that particular subgroup, whether it's corporate wellness or whether it is children that are learning about nutrition. So there's a few different ways that we anticipate will make revenue.
Okay. Are you planning on trying to market to hospitals or organizations like that, or
yeah,
or is it going to stay mostly business to consumer?
Yeah, we'd like it to be business to consumer for us in terms of being able to hit a certain scale and to really make an impact on the problem. But I think we are already beginning to go down the path of trying to find partnerships with hospitals or with academic institutions, so that we're able to kind of broaden the kind of impact of Fooya and ensure that there is a certain credibility associated with it, and the brand is kind of enhanced. So we're looking for partnerships with hospitals, but not for distribution, but mainly for them to be able to validate a lot of the health model and everything that goes behind it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, do you have other games that are in mind, or is this the only one, or what's
so
the
this
future
is
of,
actually our second game. We made the first game under contract from the U.S. State Department, and that was a game that is the official game from America to attract international students to the U.S. So that was more on the learning side of things, or the information side of things. We look at that and think of it more in terms of gamified information, and so it's almost like this simulation experience that allows prospective students to feel like they're on U.S. campuses and walk through classrooms and walk through a U.S. consulate to get a visa.
So they know what to expect when they
know
get
exactly
here.
what to expect when they get
That's
here.
interesting.
But Fooya is our second game, but now we're going to be focused on Fooya and its mission for health for a little bit, I think. Although we have other ideas for games, but I think we really want to kind of be very focused on at the intersection of health and gaming for now. So at least for the foreseeable future, we'll be focused on Fooya and going across platforms.
Oh, okay. So now for the people who don't know, what's the concept of the game Fooya?
So Fooya is essentially a food fight, and it's a game surrounding the topic of food, which is being used as a weapon in the context of the game. But it's really set to be like a fast-paced, third-person shooter style of game. So people go around a carnival or a school, and they pick up different foods that they find and use it as a weapon to chase enemies, and their health is directly related to the nutritional impact of the food that they get hit with. And at the same time, they exercise judgment in picking different items that they find, different food items that they find, in being able to inflict damage upon their enemies. So if they want to attack and defeat their enemies, they pick the worst foods that they can find, and so that could be, or your fully loaded cheeseburger or fries or whatever it is, and then when and then in the future anyway, there'll be healthy foods that they can share with their friends. So they will constantly be thinking about food as it relates to the nutritional value of the food weapons that they're able to find in the game.
Okay.
So it's generally a food fight game, and that's kind of the core mechanic at the center of the experience.
Yeah. So where do you see the future of health-related technology and gaming and things like that going?
That's a great question. I think it's a pretty wide open space, and what gaming proves is that we're able to achieve like very deep engagement, sometimes almost addictive engagement, and it would the problem surrounding global health obviously requires a very deep engagement around a topic to be able to make an impact or make a dent on kind of the scale of the global health problem. So I think gaming and health could be a very, very powerful way to go from zero to reaching hundreds of millions of people in a very short period of time, which is kind of essential if we want to make an impact on some of these big problems. So I think it's a very exciting space, and something that is probably going to have a transformational impact on health in the near future.
Okay. So is there anything else you would like to tell me about Friends Learn and Fooya and that sort of thing?
So let's see. So the whole concept, or the central concept to what Fooya represents, is a concept of learnification that we think is actually a way to embed learning that is intrinsic to entertainment. And it's a methodology that we use, and it's also powered by a platform that we develop that actually measures what gamers are learning just by virtue of being entertained. And so our whole thesis as a company is that a lot of entertainment that we consume has some level of learning value, and it can range from 0 to 100. But we're trying to create like a mechanism ultimately that captures learning that happens by virtue of entertainment or engagement, and create a platform surrounding that. So learnification is something that is kind of at the core of our own innovations and our own kind of proprietary insights into how to kind of aggregate and measure what people are learning just by virtue of doing what they do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that was helpful.
Oh yeah, that was very helpful.